What's going on, all my fantasy football fans? Welcome to the Blown Coverage Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Waiver Queen. If you're struggling with injuries and have players getting ready to go out on the bye week, we have some great waiver wire ads for you to consider going into week 7. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We have a lot of great content, which will help you every week. Let's kick this thing off with our quarterbacks. Geno Smith with the Seattle Seahawks is definitely a good ad. Didn't have a great week 6. However, so far this season, he has been very good. Over 1,500 passing yards, 9 touchdowns to 2 interceptions, and completing over 73% of his passes. That is very good. That is a quarterback you want on your team and not on your opponent's side. He has the Chargers going into week 7, and he can be a great help to your team with bye weeks. So consider Geno Smith. Another good ad is Jimmy G with the 49ers. He's been solid since replacing Trey Lance in the starting lineup. He has over 1,100 passing yards, 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions on the season, and he can help your team with the bye weeks. Now let's switch this up and talk about our running backs. Henderson with the Rams. Cam Akers all of a sudden is probably not going to take another snap for the Rams. The Rams are looking to trade him. This has been a mess at the running back position so far this season for the Rams. It's very unfortunate for Akers. However, a fresh start for him is simply what he needs. Henderson hasn't been great all season long, but he had a decent game week 6 versus the Panthers, 12 carries for 43 yards. And that touchdown he got saved the day. But nonetheless, if he's going to be the starter, then you know what you need to do. Add him, okay? As a bye week 7. But again, if he is going to be the starter going forward, you want him on your side because hopefully things will get better because Henderson has been solid in the past as a starter. So we're going to hope for the best there. Some other good ads at the running back position. Caleb Huntley with the Falcons, 16 carries, 59 yards, week 6 versus the 49ers. He had one more carry than Tyler Algier. Obviously, Tyler Algier has outsnapped him. However, they both are involved, and you should definitely consider adding him if you can't get Tyler Algier. All he needs is a touchdown, and hopefully he can get that touchdown. Another ad you should consider is Tyler Algier with the Falcons. He is definitely the clear-cut starter. 15 carries for 51 yards versus the 49ers. One less carry than Caleb Huntley. It's a committee, but both of these guys are getting the opportunities. When you get opportunities, it gives you a chance to produce. So consider both of those guys. Khalil Herbert with the Bears is a very good ad. He is involved with what the Bears are doing, and we already know it appears that the new coaching staff really like him. So if they like him, they're going to get him involved. He had a very good run, almost scored a touchdown week 6. Didn't score a touchdown versus the Commanders, but was very, very good. And on the season, he's been solid. 63 carries, 403 yards, 3 touchdowns, 5 receptions, and 37 yards. He is involved with what they're doing for the Bears. And in the event that Montgomery gets hurt or is traded, then Herbert will be the starter going forward. Another very good ad is Brian Robinson with the Commanders. Returned to action week 5, had a decent outing week 6, 17 carries for 60 yards and 1 touchdown. May end up being a committee because now Ron Rivera is talking about getting Antonio Gibson more touches. Well, he had from week 1 to week 4 to do that, but we'll have to see what happens here. It appears that Robinson is the early down back, which makes sense. So keep that in mind if you do decide to pick up Robinson. Another very good ad is Kenyon Drake with the Ravens. He had 10 carries, 119 yards, and a touchdown versus my New York Giants. Very good production. Dobbins only played the first half, had some tightness or soreness in his knee, didn't return the second half. Don't know what's going to happen there. So if you can pick up Kenyon Drake, or if you already have him, that is very good because he appears to be in line for an increase, especially if Dobbins continues to have some type of issues with his knee. So consider Kenyon Drake. Now let's switch this thing up and talk about our wide receivers. Alec Pierce with the Colts is starting to play more. Over the last 2 weeks, he has seen 16 targets. Week 6 versus Jacksonville, 7 targets, 3 receptions for 49 yards and a touchdown. Very good production. Again, if nothing else, he can help your team during bye weeks. Some of these guys may not be your starter, but they can help your bench out and replace some of your starters in the event that they are dealing with injuries or bye weeks. This is the time that you have to look to secure players who will help your starters when they are out. So you want to have a strong bench. So if you can get all of the players who are producing, then that is great. And that's what you have to consider. Darnell Mooney is back in the mix, right? He has seen more targets over the last 2 weeks with 17 targets for the Bears, 9 receptions and 120 yards. So over the last 2 weeks, it has been increased. I think they have heard us say, what the hell's going on out there with the Bears with them not throwing the football. But nonetheless, if he is going to be more involved, he is the number one. He had a breakout season last year, expected him to take the next step this year, but they're a mess on offense and the passing game. So you have to kind of lower your expectations. But if he's going to continue to see more opportunities, then we want him on our bench. Another good ad, and this is all about potential, is Robbie Anderson, now with the Cardinals, was traded from the Panthers to the Cardinals. It seemed like him getting sent to the locker room was going to be it. This is a very good move for Robbie Anderson. I'm sure he is happy as hell. We're happy as hell because now he's going to play for a quarterback who's most likely going to get him the football. He's definitely going to be involved. Hollywood Brown is out with a foot injury, right? So Anderson will instantly become the deep threat, and he's very good at that. So this is a very good move for Anderson. I know he had a very good week 1 and then just fell off. No surprise, because the quarterback situation for the Panthers has been a mess over the last 2 seasons. So Anderson now has the opportunity to see more opportunity on the football field, and we like him. So pick him up. Do not wait until he actually produces to pick him up. Pick him up now if you can. Another very good ad is Wan'Dale Robinson with the Giants. He returned from a knee injury, had 4 targets, 3 receptions, 37 yards, and a touchdown. The Giants need playmakers at the wide receiver position. The Giants drafted Wan'Dale Robinson in the 2nd round. We already know they have a lot of injuries. Lost Shepard for the season. Galladay is hurt, didn't play. And obviously, Tony, we don't know when the hell he's going to play because he seems to always be hurt. So Robinson has returned, and he looked good. They're going to slowly increase his snap percentage and time on the football field. So don't be alarmed by a low snap percentage. That will start to increase because they're going to work him back in. And the good thing is he's getting the opportunities and pretty much the targets, and he scored a touchdown. So we like Wan'Dale Robinson going forward because he's very good. Another solid ad at the wide receiver position is Jacoby Myers with the Patriots. He is their number 1 wide receiver, okay? And they're getting him involved. I don't care if it's Bailey or Matt Jones, they're getting him involved, and we want the starting wide receiver on our team. He doesn't have to be your starter, but he can be that wide receiver who comes off your bench when one of your players are hurt, or he just has a better matchup, or the bye week. So consider Myers, okay? Return week 5. The last 2 weeks, he's been good. 12 targets, 11 receptions, 173 yards, and 1 touchdown. So if you can pick him up, do so. I was able to pick him up a few weeks ago before he returned from injury because some people have just released him. Well, pick him up. Let's go on and do it. Now let's talk about some of these tight ends. That has been a hot mess so far, right? It has been very inconsistent. Some tight ends we thought were going to produce simply haven't produced. But we have some other tight ends out there who are slowly producing and may see more opportunities. Cade Otton with Tampa had a very good week 5. Wasn't really in the mix early on week 6 until Cameron Brate got hurt. Cameron Brate was carted off with the neck and concussion injury, and we don't know when he's going to return. Once Otton got in there, he had 2 receptions, 23 yards. Wasn't a lot, right? We know that, but he should be involved more going forward. He's definitely going to be the starting tight end over Kyle Rudolph, because week 5, Kyle Rudolph got in there and didn't look good, and Otton actually had a good game. The last 2 weeks, 8 receptions, 66 yards. More opportunities will be coming forward for this young man, so consider Cade Otton. Another ad is Hunter Henry with the Patriots. He's just more involved in the offense over the last few weeks, especially with Bailey. Don't know if Bailey's going to be the starter Monday, but he is playing some decent football. And again, with Hunter Henry being more involved, you may need to take a look at him. The last 2 games, 8 receptions, 115 yards, 1 touchdown. Take a look at Hunter Henry. Again, if you're in a 2 tight end league, you know how hard it is to find a tight end who can produce, especially with the bye weeks coming up. And then tight ends you thought were going to produce simply just haven't looked good all year. So Hunter Henry was one of those guys we thought would be solid this year, but it hasn't happened. But the last 2 weeks, he has looked better. So consider Hunter Henry. And Mike Gesicki with the Dolphins, more involved with Teddy Bridgewater as the quarterback. Don't know how long it's going to last, but if it lasts only a few more weeks, take advantage of it, okay? Again, bye weeks, injuries, other tight ends underperforming, and he's one of those guys who last season was very good, and this season just hasn't been good because they haven't been utilizing him. So if he's going to produce, as long as he's producing, you take advantage. Take advantage of the opportunities while it is there. It may be the difference between you winning and losing a week. 6 receptions, 69 yards, and 2 touchdowns, right? Good production. No, great production. So if you can pick him up and utilize him until he either stops performing, but if he keeps performing, keep him on your roster. And then Robert Tonyan with the Packers. Very big game week 6. 12 targets, 10 receptions for 90 yards. Very good. He is involved. A-Rod loves getting him the football. So we know that Cobb left with an injury. And we do know that who else are they going to throw the football to? You have Lazard. They were throwing the football to Cobb. And now Tonyan was a big part of what they did week 6. Also, if Cobb is out, maybe consider Dobbs. So there you have it, guys. Leave some comments and let me know your thoughts of our top waiver wire ads going into week 7. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and your notifications are turned on so you can stay connected with the Blown Coverage Fantasy Football Podcast, because we have a lot of great content which will help you throughout the fantasy football season. I'll see you guys on Thursday. We'll talk about players we love going into the Thursday night football game where we have the Cardinals versus the Saints.
Thanks for listening to the Blown Coverage Fantasy Football Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Blown Coverage Fantasy Football Podcast.